you didn't say this explicitly, but you like the quality of art, right? You can objectively say like some art is of higher quality than other art, right? Kind of, you can kind of objectively say that.
Yeah, there are some like objective ways to define quality. So we could say a limited number of things produced by a world-renowned artist is quality, or the amount of time somebody invests. Like these are objective things that we could say is theoretically.
Well,
like,
no, that's like labor theory of value ways to do it, which is lame. I'm talking like for example, you seen Game of Thrones?
Of course, unfortunately.
Okay, unfortunately, right now up until the last, I don't know exactly when it went off the rails, but let's say the last season.
Last 4 seasons. Go ahead.
Last 4 is too many. I think people say 2.
No.
But whatever. Fine. Okay.
I don't care what people say. After Tyrion leaves King's Landing, it's gone from that point on. But go ahead.
Fine. But point is, I would say it's sort of ruined movies and TV for me because I compare everything to the first 5 seasons of Game of Thrones, and it never meets the criteria. I stopped watching Last of Us. It's not good. But then. So here's what happened. You had everyone who watched it was saying it's such a great movie or a great TV show. And then everyone virtually unanimously agreed the ending was trash. Mm-hmm. Which indicates, okay, there must have been something objective that we can say about the ending that was different from the rest of the movie that caused this unanimous backlash. Because what other possible explanation could it be? Was it all like everyone just hopped on the bandwagon of hating it? It's like, no, that makes no sense to anyone who's seen it. But I would say ultimately you can't know. It's not, because that's an example of you can get down to a certain level of objectivity. Like when you're evaluating music, you can say circle of fifths, it does these different things. But ultimately, like your sense, there's a point where the rubber meets the road in terms of your sense data versus the actual art you're evaluating. And that is entirely just like, it's a vibe. I mean, that's literally what I would reduce in a meme form to: vibes and intuition. It's like the Rick Rubin thing. You've seen the Rick Rubin interview where they ask him like, do you play any instruments? He goes, no. Do you know how to work a soundboard? No. I have no musical ability whatsoever. I just have good taste. And Rick Rubin's like one of the most successful music producers of all time. Mm-hmm. And so taste is ultimately, you can objectively parameterize it, but it's ultimately vibes based.
Sure. And
with a term like, how do you know what term to use? It's like, it's vibes based. It's like, I don't know. Do you have a good sense of the vibes? Are you good at evaluating the vibe shift and predicting the vibe shift? And for me personally, I think I am the Rick Rubin of whatever political meme spheres, where it's very clear to me what the vibes are, and I've seen my own predictions come true. And so that's how I would evaluate whether a term is good to use or not. It's entirely up to my own subjective judgment, but ultimately that's what I have to trust.
Okay. That's a deeply unsatisfying answer, but
that's a deeply unsatisfying answer.
Yeah. Well, because it's an issue that I think about a lot. And if you had like a very clear cut, like, oh, this is how you know, I'd be like, oh, thanks. But
yeah, but that's kind of it's sort of like saying, are you unsatisfied because do you recognize that that's the nature of reality? Like Rick Rubin could never put into words, could never rationally articulate to someone.
No, the whole concept of taste is also deeply unsatisfying, I would say. Yes, for sure. Yeah.
Interesting. See, okay, this goes back to a fundamental, I don't know how you see it, but I sent you a Discord a while back. It was the Moral Foundations Theory by Jonathan Haidt. Before we end, I will once again encourage you to watch it. It's only 20 minutes. It's a TED Talk. But it basically outlines like, you know how certain people are colorblind?
I've heard of that before, yeah.
Literally, like we can be looking at the same object and your subjective experience is fundamentally different than mine. I mean, allegedly, because we can't prove consciousness. It's like, that's... When you said it's fundamentally unsatisfying, it's like, no, I think it speaks to a fundamental personality difference between you and I, and not just you and I as people, but you and I in terms of the personalities that we, I don't want to say represent, but have, that are distinct from each other, where it's like, I am so okay with subjectivity and heuristics and vibes and intuitions. And I would say that's very few people would say I'm a skilled debater. Depends on the topic and if I had time enough to prepare, but I never do that.
Okay.
But I don't. I mean, I believe I'm one of the only people in this entire sphere who is capable of having calm, rational, reasonable discussions with the widest variety of types of people out there,
Sure.
politically, personality wise, or otherwise. I mean, this is feedback I've gotten directly from people who I
Yeah, that's
admire
fine.
as having good opinions.
Maybe I used a poor word, or you didn't quite get when I say it's deeply unsatisfying. What I mean is that having good taste is like a universally enviable skill, and it's deeply unsatisfying that there's not like an easy way to just look up like how do I get really good taste. That's like a
Do you
process.
believe you have good taste when it comes to reading the vibes, reading the political vibe shifts, reading people, personalities, meme types, stuff like that?
I think for that type of stuff, yeah, I think I've got a pretty good intuition for it. But when it comes to like design or art or like stuff that's appealing to the eyes, it's so much work to figure out like how the amount of reading and research for like rebuilding the set downstairs and everything is like a slog fest. Artistically, like visually, I don't at all. It's yeah, and you can't just like read a thing and be like, oh, cool, now I have like good visual taste. It's like a very difficult thing to do. I think you just develop it through intuition and work. But that can be said for music as well. Like there are some musicians that are extremely skilled, but their music kind of sucks. They have really bad taste, unfortunately. But yeah,
I don't think you have, from what I've observed, I don't think you have. I don't, taste is the wrong word. I don't know. It's hard for me. I don't think you have good judgment of people when it broadly, because of the things you say about conservatives, for example, and the degree to which it seems like it undermines your own goals of, again, I don't know what your goals are, but we've had this conversation before of like, it seemed to me it's like a consequentialist type thing. It's like, if you had good judgment in people's personality types and how they receive information, it would seem that, and your goal is to, I don't know, make a positive impact in the political discourse, it would seem that it's like very obvious that a lot of the things you do not serve that goal, and then I would question why.
yeah, I understand. But we've had this conversation before.
We've
It's
had this
boring.
conversation before.